What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GoodeBaker podcast. I'm Nick Baker, and across from me, Shane Good.
Yo, yo.
And joining us this week, our resident Pokemon expert, Paul Gorham.
Hey, everyone.
So, without further ado, let's get into the show. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Play stores for the audio version of the podcast, as well as our YouTube channel for the video version. Make sure you follow us on our social media over on Instagram and Facebook to keep up with everything that's going on with us so that you never miss a show. What have you been playing this week, Shane?
So, this week I've had a little bit of a rougher time trying to find time to play video games, but as usual, when I do have the time, I've been playing League of Legends, so slowly just kind of grinding up. I got another division up, so I'm one more division closer to plat, and I'm sure I'll get it eventually, I guess. I don't know.
Just so defeated. That man just sounds like he's had enough.
Yeah, I've still got a positive win rate, so like I'm going in the right direction, but...
Did you play any more of that game, Valheim?
I have a little bit, yeah. I forgot about that, actually. I've played all the way until you get, like, the second boss or something like that.
Did we ever figure whether that was crossplay or not?
It is not crossplay.
Damn.
Yep.
Gotta go on that PC game.
Yep. It is fun, but not crossplay. Actually, I'm part of a group of friends that I think there's like, I don't know, 10 of them that play it all. Like, it's a lot of fun. Currently, they're making a massive village, which is pretty entertaining. But they've all, beaten the game, and they just like the building aspects and different things like that. So.
Mm-hmm. So, what about you, Paul? What have you been playing? I know you've been playing something relatively new.
I just started Bravely Default 2 yesterday, and I'm pretty pumped for it. It's been really fun. I was actually surprised all of the updates they made to the Bravely Default formula, like adding overworld enemies. And the music's really fun, and I loved the 2D drawn style of the buildings and structures with the little 3D models.
Mm.
And they have that, and it just looks so much crisper on the Switch than the 3DS.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And the overworld definitely sells the vast world that they're trying to represent in the Bravely Default series. But if you're not familiar with the Bravely Default series, it's kind of like a spin-off on Final Fantasy that Square Enix put out on the 3DS. They put out Bravely Default and Bravely Second as two releases of just very similar to Final Fantasy-esque JRPGs, where it's turn-based combat, but the major kink in the hose here is that you get multiple attacks based on whether you brave or default during combat. So it's a really interesting concept that I think really flavored up a kind of tired old turn-based combat system, much like they did with Final Fantasy VII Remake too. They made that a lot more action-oriented, which is by far better than what we've seen before. Yeah, that's really awesome. So you're enjoying the story so far?
Yeah, I just finished the prologue, and I ended up just sitting in the first area grinding for a while because I wanted some of the job abilities from the freelancer job.
Yeah, and you're playing on the hardest difficulty you were saying before, right?
I am. It's a little harder than I thought it would be, actually.
Just going right for it, huh?
Right.
You can change the difficulty at any time in Bravely Default, which is nice.
Oh, that's cool.
So I didn't see any reason not to start on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, why not? Accept the challenge up front. If it's too much and you're not having fun with it, just kind of teeter it down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Makes
sense.
As
for myself, I've been playing a lot of NBA 2K, getting absolutely 100% frustrated at that game. It's killing me a little bit inside each time, but I keep going back, and I don't know why. Similar to League of Legends and Shane over there.
Yeah, 100% get that.
Just me and these sports games. I don't know. It's just I love to hate them. That's the thing. But also, I've been playing the new season of Call of Duty Warzone as well, and kind of sprinkling in some other things amongst that. I'm probably going to be starting the replay of Final Fantasy VII Remake now that they made that a PlayStation Plus title. I can get it digitally on my PS5 now, so I can play it there, um, because I had the disc before, and I'm an idiot for not getting the disc drive PS5. Can't believe
Well,
it. Worst decision of my life.
didn't
Regrets and
you
all that.
didn't we have like four in the group, and then you gave that one away to somebody else so that you could,
Yeah, I
yeah.
had originally, yeah. There's a whole slew of things that I should have. Uh, I got the PlayStations for other people, and I was like, oh, well, like, I could try and sell them this digital one, but like, nah, no, I had to take what I initially set myself up for, which was the downfall of not being able to play my PS4 games immediately on my PS5.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
I started buying a lot of them towards the end of the PS4 life cycle in digital anyway, so that I had that forward compatibility once I knew they had the digital system coming. It was much easier to make that transition, but alas, I may never play Red Dead Redemption 2 ever again.
Oh, but I'm sure Rick does every day.
Dude, he loves that game. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. It's time for the breakdown. This week on the breakdown, we're going to be talking everything Pokemon. That's why we got our boy over here, the resident Pokemon expert, Paul Gorham, here to give his, you know, 1-2 in on this whole Pokemon presentation that they had. So basically, it was just like a Nintendo Direct, but Pokemon is throwing this whole celebration for the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, and this is kind of kicking it off with a bunch of really great announcements. And they started off with this montage through the years of Pokemon technology and Pokemon games and all these different things that Pokemon has put forward into the gaming space, and not just the gaming space, but the media ethos as a whole, which is it was honestly, like, it gave me goosebumps a few times. I was like, oh man, what did you guys think of the beginning, or I mean, I guess just the whole thing as a whole, and we'll get to the big announcements as we go on.
Go for it, Paul. I'll let you go.
Well, for starters, the whole celebration thing, it was kind of weird that they had Post Malone doing a concert for it, but the
Yeah,
concert was actually really cool, and all of the games that they launched in the trailer look really great and look really refreshing. I'm
yeah, and
really
like,
excited for the Arceus one.
yeah, oh man, and we'll get into that a bunch more. We have some speculation stuff to go through with that game, but yeah, what did you think, Shane? I know you watched this whole thing, so what did
Yeah.
you think of, like, Pokemon Snap? Are you gonna be getting on there, taking some pictures of some fire rabbits or whatever?
So hang on, we got to slow it down a little bit because we can talk about the whole video. It was a pretty good video. So the start of the video, I didn't even know that a couple of those games were made. I didn't know that they made a Pokemon skateboarding kind of like mini video or mini game,
Hmm.
which was very entertaining to learn about. I thought creative wise, that video, that first like 5-6 minutes of it was really fun. Like, it was really cool. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then like the games that they're kind of coming out with, um, I thought that like the Snap, it definitely looks like they're keeping the old Snap ideals and like how the game mechanically was working, but it looks like they're just kind of taking it forward. I can see that there's going to definitely be a lot of Easter eggs. Um, Obviously, I mean, nowadays it's a little easier to figure out Easter eggs. And Snap, back when you were in like freaking middle school, was like, oh yeah, you didn't know that you could feed that animal the apple, and if you look exactly to your left at 35 degrees, like all of a sudden Argentina just like flies out of the water, even though he wasn't in the game yet. Like, there was so many just like little kind of sneaks that were in those types of games, and I think that it's gonna be cool to see like like how in depth do they go to kind of like make you find their secrets, if you will. I think that's going to be a really cool aspect of that game, but I don't think I'll
Mm,
play it.
right. I don't think I'll actually try it, but I think it'll be cool for all kinds of other people to
Yeah,
unfold all the crazy mysteries that Pokemon Snap has to offer.
I'm sure there'll be some cool shit in it, just not for my place.
All right. So with Pokemon Snap out of the way, of course, the first of the two major announcements made, in my opinion, in this Pokemon Presents was the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes coming later this year with a new coat of paint. Pays homage to the original with kind of what was it, Link's Awakening, the remake of Link's Awakening kind of aesthetic poured over it, which is, in my opinion, I think one of the better ways they've gone with these remakes since, I guess, Ruby and Sapphire were remade.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the aesthetic and obviously these games finally getting remade? I think this being isn't this your favorite generation, Paul?
Yeah, I really liked Gen 4. The chibi, I'm usually not super into like the chibi art styles, but I think it really works well for this remake. It's very true to the original overworld of the original Lemon Pearl. I'm glad that it doesn't keep that style in the battles themselves. From what we
Right.
saw in the video, it has more detailed models for like when
Right.
you go into battle, and the Pokemon models look to be similar to the Sword and Shield ones.
Yeah, definitely. I love the aesthetic. I love everything that they've been, or what that they showed in that video. Everything looks really crisp. Everything's colorful, and the 3D really adds a new flair to that overworld. What did you think, Shane?
Um, I think that so like it definitely looks super crisp. I mean, obviously,
Mm,
when you bring things forward graphically, if it doesn't look crisp, they probably did something wrong. Um,
yeah.
but you know how it works. Um, I haven't played any of the other remakes, and I mean maybe Paul can fill me in on them. But do they change any of like the mechanics? Do they add more things to them? Is it or do they just really bring that exact game forward with just graphical updates and just more like smooth play?
They usually update the mechanics to whatever gen it's being remade in, so they'll probably update all the moves to how they work in Gen 8. And for when they did the Hoenn remakes, they added more plot and they added mega evolutions to the Hoenn region, which weren't in the originals. So they'll probably add Dynamax to these ones maybe,
That's cool.
or they might
So
bring back another older mechanic.
that's cool.
That definitely be interesting to see the Dynamax mechanic in an aesthetic other than the Sword and Shield games because that is kind of not so more realistic, but I guess it in a way it is more like what's the word I'm looking for here? Yeah, I guess we can just go with more realistic, like instead of this chibi art style. I'd like to see what they would do with the Dynamax in that art style, but at the same time, bringing back Mega Evolutions is probably my vote. I would love to see that mechanic come back because that was probably my favorite of the different quirky mechanics that they've added since they've started adding these quirky mechanics.
Hmm.
I've really missed Megas.
Yeah, I mean they added a layer of strategy that wasn't there before and a layer of challenge in the end game that wasn't there before without being as like over the top. I think as the Dynamax mechanic is. But that being said, on to the second of the two big reveals that this Pokemon Presents had. Now this one is just the game of dreams
Ooh.
from all angles that you look at this new video. You just think, all right, if they nail this, this could be the perfect game. It's finally happening. Pokemon Legends Arceus, an open world IP from the Pokemon team that will be set in feudal Sinnoh and will include an overworld Pokemon battles and capturing mechanics that don't take you into like another separate screen. So everything's in the overworld. It's finally happening, guys. An open world Pokemon game. The capturing mechanics look like pretty smooth for this early of a build of a game. The trailer did have some hitches and different things, some animations not quite finished. I don't think in a lot of the footage that they showed, but this kind of sets the groundwork for something that can be amazing. And man, it just gets me so psyched. It's supposed to be coming in early 2022, I believe they said. I didn't write it down here, but I think that's what what they have it slated for. But yeah, what do you guys think? I got to pass this on to Paul because I know you're as excited, if not like twice as excited as I am for this.
I am very excited for this. After the switch to overworld models that they've made, I'm hoping that this expands upon that even further in a much cleaner way than Sword and Shield did. I'm
Right.
actually hoping that they go in a little bit of a direction that Bravely Default 2 went, where with in the clips that they showed like your Pokemon attacking an overworld Pokemon. I'm hoping that lets you get like an ambush mechanic.
Yeah, that would be really interesting actually to have your Pokemon be able to not only attack overworld um, enemy Pokemon, but also maybe use like HM style moves on terrain or things that are in your way in the overworld. That would be fucking amazing.
We get
uh,
dodge rolling now.
Ooh,
yeah,
the
dodge roll.
abilities.
The ideas that I have for like crazy like Dark Souls like Pokemon battles with the dodge roll mechanic are just going wild in my brain. But yeah, man, this game for all intents and purposes looks like uh, what we were expecting the Let's Go games to be, and unfortunately weren't. you know, what did you think, Shane?
So it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. Uh, it looks like, oh boy, I forget the name of the game. There was a game probably 2018, 2017, in the modding community that somebody had basically tried to make a Pokemon game that was like this, and they did a really good job with it. It got cease and desisted, but it reminds me a lot of that idea. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, they had a lot of the same exact mechanics. I actually got to play that before it got taken down. So if it's anything like that, it was a lot of fun. And I mean, this type of game is, in my opinion, a little bit more fun, where you kind of have the ability to just like go catch Pokemon without having to like go to like the different types of battle screens. Everything's very like seamless and very just kind of like, I wouldn't say at your fingertips, but just very like there to play.
Yeah,
Um,
everything's open.
yeah. Plus, I mean, there's just, I feel like I don't do, I don't remember exactly. Was there flying mechanics in it as well?
They didn't. I don't think they showed off any flying mechanics
I,
in the trailer itself, but I
yeah.
can't imagine that they wouldn't include something like that if they were striving for something really ambitious as an open world Pokemon game. I think that adding that flight mechanic um, into it without kind of breaking the game is kind of where they'd have to focus on without compromising the actual fun nature of discovering things and having to use cut or dig or different things to get into different areas.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think that like, I don't know, flying doesn't break it as much as like it's a system to use fast travel, or like a way to use fast travel that makes sense even if you're not actually specifically flying from one spot to the next like physically, as much as
mm,
like a way to use fast travel. And like that,
right,
that the cut and dig and different abilities would definitely be, like helping you get into dungeons, helping you get into like large forested areas possibly that you couldn't fly through because it would be too dangerous, or like.
yeah.
They do have some instances of like flying in some of the earlier games, like the Let's Go games. You could unlock overworld flying or overworld Pokemon riding, and there was
Mhm.
the flying mini game esque thing with Latios and Latias in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, where you could just fly very high above the region to encounter flying Pokemon and to
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
places.
That's
I
cool.
do remember that. Yeah, that was something that I thought when I saw it. I was like, huh, if they really take this and like use this as like a next gen feature in one of the Pokemon games and actually have the ability to like in the Let's Go games have you say you're riding your Charizard just kind of ascend into the sky, but it never seemed to get quite there. The the wild area in Sword and Shield is so close, and I thought, maybe this is as far as they'll ever go. But this new game, this Pokemon Legends Arceus, has me completely sideways with that idea. Like now they have a whole new IP to put all these new experimental ideas into. Um, the taste that we got really just excited me in all the ways that a open world Pokemon game can excite, even with like I said, the technical issues that you can clearly see. But that being said, this game maybe is a year or more out and could have more time, and it's probably going to be delayed until later in the year for like a main Pokemon release for that year, I imagine. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear more. I can't wait to see what else they have in store for us for this 25th anniversary of Pokemon this year. I
Mhm.
know there's going to be some more coming, so can't wait to see. But one question I did have, because the technical issues did kind of show up, and I was like, huh, well, they're really starting to see the edge of what the Switch can do a lot in a lot of these games. And Paul mentioned it earlier to me when he was talking about Bravely Default 2, where there's some real technical issues that you can see with the Switch. Do you think that the Switch Pro is going to come out alongside this new Pokemon game, or do you think maybe somewhere down the line? Do you think it's even going to happen? What do you think about the Switch Pro rumors? I'll pass it to Shane first.
So, Switch Pro rumors, don't know a crazy amount. However, just from looking at a very basic understanding of how consoles make money and how they kind of work through everything is like generally the first 2 years that a console's out, or a year at least, they lose a lot of money, and then as they make new kind of um, I wouldn't say revisions, but like as they go from like a PS4 to like a PS4 Pro, where a lot of the technology is exactly the same. The plan was always to use that same technology and just give it a little bit of better this or a little bit of better of that, or like in the future it will be more efficient to be able to do this, and they kind of recover some of that money what they had to use to research all of those components. So I think that it makes a very big sense that they'll do some sort of like pro version. I mean, what we already have like the mini version that doesn't dock. We've got like other versions, so I think that it makes a lot of sense.
Hmm. What about you, Paul?
Well, they currently have like a slightly upgraded version out right now where they just like upgraded some of the
Right,
aspects of the Switch, like
right.
the
Yeah, the
the
second
New
wave.
Horizon. Yeah,
Right.
the second wave of it. But I honestly think we're probably going to see a delay for Breath of the Wild 2, and then that'll launch alongside whatever Pro model they have in the works.
Ooh,
Mm.
he's got some hot takes.
Ooh, I could see that. I could see
Yeah,
that.
I could definitely see that. They delayed the last Breath of the Wild. To launch alongside the Switch because it was originally just slated for the Wii U. So that it actually ended up coming out on the Wii U was pretty spectacular, I thought, as far as that goes. But yeah, the in my opinion, I think the Switch Pro is like you guys said, it's a no brainer. It's just a matter of when.
Mm.
But I would like it as soon as possible. So if I were to put my prediction down, hmm, they do want it to come out alongside a game.
Yeah, that would be best for it.
But have they announced everything that's coming out this year that could potentially use a Switch Pro? Is my question. Hmm. I think it'll come out. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say that the Pokemon title. It'll probably come out alongside the Pokemon title, and I say that Pokemon is delayed until the fall, and potentially um, Zelda will come out in the spring of 2022 or 2023.
Damn.
That's my prediction.
That's quite some time.
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, I think that they're going to have all these other titles like mixed in there. Metroid's floating out there somewhere. hopefully.
Isn't like
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
Spelunky like or not Spelunky? Sorry, what the hell is that damn paint game that they always
Oh, Splatoon. Yeah,
Splatoon
Splatoon
like 12 will
3,
be out
right?
by then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they released like 7 more Splatoons before any of the other games come out.
Dude, well, I mean, why wouldn't you? It's just so freaking popular, and the multiplayer, by the way, is probably the best.
Yeah. So
Sorry, laying
the
on that sarcasm pick.
yeah, wow. The oh my god, the voice chat for Nintendo is terrible.
Yeah,
The voice chat app is awful.
I still to this day don't understand why they don't just have a Discord app for like
Yeah.
consoles. It'd be very easy, especially where games are just going more and more crossplay. Like, just let me talk to you on PS4. Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, this rollout for Pokemon games has been really strange. I think it's pretty unorthodox as to as any other year has ever been. Wow, if I can actually speak a full sentence correctly. Um,
Well, snap.
what do you think the next Pokemon title is going to be like beyond these two games? Like, what the next mainline title is going to include? Like, do you think it's going to be more towards the Sword and Shield style of things, where that was a pretty successful title? Probably, I think it was one of the best selling Pokemon games to date. Don't quote me on that, but what do you think it's going to be that, or do you think it's going to be a fusion of these new open world features and some of what we've seen before, maybe in more of a style of the remakes that we've seen? What do you think they're going to do for the next main titles for Pokemon? Paul.
I think it depends on how well Legends does. If Legends flops, I feel like they're gonna go back even harder and double down on the older Pokemon models. Like the what Sword and Shield is even though Sword and Shield doesn't have the traditional like all of the traditional models, it has like some gyms and that
Hmm.
kind of plot, and they'll probably skirt away a little further away from the open world stuff that we've been looking forward to.
Yeah.
But if Legends does really well, I think they're going to go and double down on the Legends formula from what little of what we've seen.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that makes sense too. What about you, Shane?
Um, so for this one, I'm not really sure due to the fact that I haven't really played a ton of the Pokemon games, but it's definitely what Paul said makes a lot of sense. Where it's like if the new kind of idea and mechanic that they're creating does flourish, it makes sense that they would continue to produce it. If not, it does make a lot of sense that they would backstep and try and figure out what could be good or possibly go with an older mechanic.
Damn, guys, my thoughts exactly. I agree with everything you guys just said. Yeah, if it's a hit, then I say they go that direction. If it's a flop, then I think that they are going to stick with more of a you know closed area formula and continue putting them out that way until they have a better understanding of what they're going to do moving forward.
I mean,
But
they could hear me out really quick, right?
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Here's that left fielder that I love doing.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
they could possibly just take a book or a page from the entire fucking book, really, from the Pokemon Minecraft, which did incredibly well, had a lot of servers, a lot of annual players for it, and they could make something that's almost an RPG of sorts,
mm-hmm.
like a literal RPG, not like the free world like that they're going with, but like an actual like RPG kind of like yeah, Pokemon's an RPG, but it's a very like soft RPG, more of the like MMO kind of like Final Fantasy styled RPG.
Right, where like your trainer would have stats too, and your
Yeah,
Pokemon stats would be broken down like twice as much as they already are.
exactly. And like you could do different like the instead of like using stones to like level up and using candies to like give small boosts and different things, like it's much more impactful for like timestamp like okay, you eat this candy, it gives your Pokemon like attack speed times like
So
point
what you're
0.5
saying
or
is you want PoE Pokemon.
yeah, PoE Pokemon would be great. I'd play the shit out of that.
All right. So moving on from Pokemon, the last thing we have to talk about this week, we threw this on the end of the show because, we're Battlefield fans over here at GoodeBaker Games.
Very true.
Need for Speed got delayed in favor for Battlefield 6, is development. So what is it? Not Visceral. Who's working on Need for Speed now? Jeez.
I don't even remember, dude. I haven't played
I can't remember since Ghost.
I did play the last Need for Speed.
Anyway, fuck Need for Speed.
Yeah,
Battlefield
basically.
6 is getting their team, and all the work that they do is going towards Battlefield 6 and getting it out this year, hopefully.
Gothenburg. By the way, Gothenburg.
Gothenburg.
EA Gothenburg.
EA Gothenburg is that the studio name?
I believe that is the studio name. Yep, video game development company. In it actually it's not EA, it's like EA Gothenburg. Like that is their entire title.
Nice.
And I guess they're out of Sweden, which is actually pretty interesting. And they developed So they developed 2015 Need for Speed Payback, 2017 Need for Speed Rivals, 2013. They also developed the Need for Speed Heat in 2019. So these guys have had their hands in the pot for a minute.
Yeah, wow, they've been kind of tinkering away at Need for Speed for a while, but now they're going to be joining Battlefield 6.
You're damn right they will. And you know what?
And getting that out as soon as possible. Paul, are you going to join us and jump over some shotgun shells and maybe knife some guys?
Yeah, and maybe drive over people with all these Need for Speed folks coming in,
All right, all those crazy fast vehicles.
As long as I don't have to try to fly a plane.
Fair enough.
I'll drive the plane. You knife guys.
Sounds like a good plan.
Sweet. Well, that's everything we got for you this week. If you want to keep up with us more, of course, go over to our Spotify, Apple Music, and Google Play stores for the audio version of the podcast. Check us out on our YouTube channel for the video version. And make sure you go follow us on our social media, Instagram, Facebook pages to keep up with everything that we got going on so you never miss a show. And we'll catch you next week. See you guys.
Peace.